Hey guys, welcome to another channel. Today's topic is why kids lie. I've always been wondering why do the kids lie. So let's look at this banger of a video. But before we do that, let's hear a word from our sponsors who make this happen. Oh, cut this. This is not me. Okay. So this is not me. Anyways, hey guys, this is Nitin here. I was just having a fun time here, working this video with my son. He said this is how I should be to be like the most, exciting YouTuber. But that's not my goal either. But let me continue from where I left. Why do kids lie? That's a topic. Have you ever lied? If you have a child, has the child ever lied? Or if you were a child once, or when you were a child once, have you lied? My answer is yes. I have lied many times. Well, let's understand why that happens. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you a real life story that happened to me when I was in 7th, maybe 8th grade, right? Not a very young age, not too big, but certainly an age where I could understand who I am. And I was lying actually. I was lying on a few occasions. But here's the story, how it was. So I was in 7th or 8th grade. Like I said, my mom once said, hey, you need to go and make a phone call to your uncle. Now back in the day, we came from a very middle class family, so we didn't have a phone back that time. We had to make a phone call from what we used to call back in India a PCO, which is a public call office, which means you go to a store or a shopkeeper or a kiosk or a stall owner, and they would have this public phones, the old mechanical ones, and you make a phone call. You pay a certain amount of money and you make a phone call. And that's how you made phone calls. And each phone call would last for about 3 minutes or something. If you want to talk more, you extend that by paying more money. So that was what was happening at that time. And I was terrified when she said to me that, listen, go and make a phone call to your uncle and just pass on this message. Trust me, I was embarrassed. I was like, running, sort of fearful of, can I even make this? I've never done this. So I asked my mother, well, how do you make a phone call? Can you give me some guidance on that one? So what she said is very straightforward. You go to this guy, wait for your line, wait for your turn. And when you are there, you just simply pick up the receiver of the phone and you dial the number. It's going to be the dial pad. And then, wait for that ringtone. It's to go like this, ring, 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 ring. And when you hear hello from the other side, simply put the 1 rupee coin in the slot that was above that phone, that mechanical phone. And he said, just go ahead and, do this. It's very easy. As always, she always, put things in a way that, inspired me to action. I had no idea what that would lead me to. Anyways, here I go. So I, run down the stairs, 2 floors of stairs of my building where I lived, and right across was this guy who had a small shop, and that used to be like the public hangout for those who never had phones at their home. They had to go and make phone calls from there. And I waited for this guy to finish it. And as this guy who was making a phone call, I was watching this guy and trying to take some cues and see how can I, be smart or appear more confident. Anyways, this guy finished. And it was my turn. So, I just sort of rehearsed what I need to do. I picked up the receiver. I dialed the number. This was my uncle's home phone number. Put the receiver on my ear. And sure enough, it started ringing. Ring, ring, ring. And as soon as I heard hello from the other side, I froze in that moment. I literally froze. I did not know what to do. I forgot the part that I have to put the 1 rupee coin in that slot, and then the phone call gets activated and you get 3 minutes to speak. So I completely forgot that part of the story. And my uncle, being very enthusiastic always on the phone, he'll say, hello, who's talking? And things like that. And eventually, within 2-3 seconds, the phone line got disconnected. Now, you should understand, back in the day, the public phones had a system that they had a small meter somewhere in that, that area, or the shopkeeper would keep it. And if the call defaults to a red light, and when the call goes through, the red light switches to a green light, so the shopkeeper knows that you are not pulling, a farce on this guy. So he heard that red light, switching to the green light with a beep sound, but I didn't do anything, and the phone call just went bust. I put the phone down. And I acted as if the phone call didn't go through, right? And I turned to the shopkeeper and he said 1 rupee. So guess what? I had to give that 1 rupee. So it was a call that never went through. And I ended up paying 1 rupee and I walked back so embarrassed. My face was flushed. I was so embarrassed that heck, I cannot even do this thing, and here I am in 8th grade. This is not a good life. And as I was walking back home, all these thoughts of guilt and embarrassment and you are no good, oh this is so tough, I wish I had a phone at my home, so on and so forth, they just kept on rolling in my mind, and I just went back quietly home. So when I reached home, my mom said, well, what happened? Did you make the phone call, and did you pass on the message? And I said, yeah, it went well. I did tell him the message. And I just avoided looking at her and just walked away to the balcony. My mom knew that I did not make a successful phone call. She didn't press me on that one, but she knew. Anyways, the story ended there. It remained so much in my memory as I was talking to my kid, one of my kids, and just this story came out of nowhere. I thought I'll make this video. But the real thing is, people or kids lie because they are suffering from a low self-esteem or a low self-image. This is very important to know. We don't want to lie, but when we are put on the spot, and if you don't have the adequate self-image, you are going to end up lying. So just the way I did it, I lied, and I continued to lie on a few more occasions until a day came when my self-image actually got better and I had the courage to accept honestly what happened versus what did not happen. So if you find that you are lying to yourself, find out what is your self-image, and if your self-image is low, bring it up. If your kid is lying, I think it's best to not reprimand them. I think find out why are they lying. Do they feel like they are put on the spot? And I'm sure that is the real answer. Anyway, so I hope you like this video. I thought this would be something for you to reflect on. I call these as my weekend reflections. I'll talk to you again on another video like this. Bye.